The planned strike by the Nigeria Labour Congress over the fuel subsidy removal as announced by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration with the attendant hardship on Nigerians has taken a different dimension. The Nigerian Labour Congress has been accused of being sponsored by politicians who are against the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, saying that they are not acting in the interest of Nigerians but playing a script of some political parties. The Nigerian Labour Congress recently had a press conference declaring that it will begin a nationwide strike on Wednesday, 6th June 2023, despite failed attempts to resolve the subsidy issue with the new administration. There are various schools of thought. Some are referring to the Occupy Nigeria protests when the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was accused of sponsoring the Ojota protests against the removal of subsidy by the Jonathan government in 2011. Tinubu then gave conditions for the removal of subsidy, a working refinery, and an alternative transportation system, while others believe that Ajero, the NLC president, is fighting Tinubu as one who is a Labour Party political member, wanting to reclaim Peter Obi's mandate. Another development is the purported division in the NLC over the planned strike on Wednesday. Let's see some of the reaction of Nigerians on the issue of the fuel subsidy.
I align myself with the position of NLC and TUC. Federal government should address the concerns that Nigerians are raising. You should not rush to. And if you look at it again, the last administration provided subsidy until end of June. We are just starting June. So why they rush to remove it? Why making Nigerians to pay for PMS that have been subsidized by the former government? So what impression are they creating? I read about Onaluga when he was trying to criticize Labour that they are working with what's it called? When you are trying to criticize NLC and TUC that are working with Labour Party, I begin to wonder why should people reason like this. The statement that came from for me is laughable, because Labour, whether under Oshomole of the past Labour as the past leader, whether under Ayuba Waba or for the former leader of the Labour, whether this is Ajero, they have always maintained a position that have not changed. That the federal government should address the issue of refining what we consume before it take out the issue of subsidy removal. Why should Onaduga now be using position of Labour to mean that they are political and they are supporting Labour Party? I understand that most of the Labour unions supported the Labour Party in the election, and if Labour Party would have won the election and they are maybe Obi is the president, and he now remove the subsidy without addressing the concern of Nigerians, and Labour become complacent and not complaining, and personally I will go against Labour. So when you say you are removing subsidy, that does not mean you should not address the fundamentals. How do you cushion the effects? How do you provide alternative means of transportation? If you have vehicles that run on CNG, compressed natural gas, nobody will complain about subsidy removal, because people will abandon these vehicles that run on fossil fuel and go for the one that run on CNG.
As far as I'm concerned, NLC are now so irrelevant. Any serious Nigerian who is ready for this country to move forward must be ready to suffer for its progress. There's nothing like Nigeria will get better without the citizens not suffer for it. Let me take you back to China. China in the early 90s, where the economy was closed, when they went through so much pain, during that period of time, they were able to train themselves technologically. They were able to improve as a person. They became so conservative. And here we are today, we can see what China is. The question is, do you know the history of China? Do you know how much emancipation China went through? As far as I am concerned, we have been too fed and then we became lazy. Nigerians have been too fed and we became lazy. We know the reality that subsidy should go. And there's no amount of arrangement preparation they can do. Nigerians will always complain. And that is the truth. I am telling you that NLC is a very useless body. They know that since 2021, if they were serious about subsidy going, and they want subsidy to go, and they are keen on it, They were supposed to hold Buhari by its balls. I asked you and I challenged, what were the things that whether Wabara, whether Joajero, whether the chairman and TUC Pengason, whoever they are, what were the demands? And how did they hold Buhari accountable? And how did they hold Buhari accountable to provide those things? They talked about buses. On a monthly basis, they were supposed to be posting, they were supposed to be releasing presses that we understand that subsidy is going. Buhari give us buses with on a repeated basis, on a monthly basis. NLC, Gajero, Wabara, they were supposed to be releasing that press statement that Buhari, where is our buses? We know that subsidy is going. We are ready to allow subsidy to go. They did not ask him. They all kept quiet. It's not a matter of is it material. It's very important.
The North and Southwest arm of the Labour Congress is said to have distanced itself from the decision of the national body, thereby painting a picture of regional and tribal politics over the interests of the masses. A current development is the Nigerian Union of Journalists asking its union members to join the planned strike, with the NULG, local government employees, following suit. These are the demands made by Ajero before the public.
The Nigerian Labour Congress has called the NEC members for us to interrogate some of these processes, to know who and who we are collecting the subsidy money. Very important. And how much they have collected, at least in the last 8 years. Because it is not enough to say subsidy or no subsidy. And it takes an average of 40,000 naira now for you to fill your tank that will last for 1 week. A small I pass my neighbor generator will not take less than 10 liters, and 10 liters cannot last a night. And it's addition of about 3,000. And in the meeting, they were not only provocative, we saw the contempt at which they held Nigerians by saying they will give people 5,000 as palliative, and that they are going to give 5,000 for 50 million Nigerians, whom they call the poorest of the poor. But the Bureau of Statistics said that there are 133 million Nigerians that are multidimensionally poor. And that's what they told us. And maybe they will give it for 6 months or thereabout. There is no other condition, no provision. We looked at alternatives, which we'll discuss in 2021. Nobody wants to mention about the repair of refineries. All questions bordering around that were not responded to. Nobody responded to the issue of CNG, which we agreed that the vehicles could be converted within 3 months. No response. So it's like there's no alternative on ground. And one of them said it's a fiat accompli. So with this, that's why we have called you here, to brief you and to seek further directive